This time, we are going to analyze Joshua Cheptegei again, but now, as he broke the 5K world record a few days ago. He ran the race in 12 minutes and 35 seconds, breaking the 16-year-old world record set by Kenenisa Bekele. This was a pretty amazing race to watch as he paced this race pretty much perfectly. His splits were pretty much the same throughout the race, with a very slight kick at the end of the race. Now the clip we will be analyzing takes place close to the 12-minute mark, which would be toward the end of the run. This is important to know, as run-in mechanics can be dynamic and change throughout the race. Anyway, during this portion, he is running at around 195 steps per minute. While we typically see runners going at around 180 steps per minute, this step rate is appropriate considering this is during the final kick, which is where runners push even harder to complete the race. This makes sense, as the higher the relative intensity the person is running at, the higher the step rate would be. Now, not only is he taking quick steps, but the steps he is taking are relatively large. Based on a few calculations, his step length is 2.04 meters long, which is converted to about 6 feet per step. This is attributed to not only the length of his limbs, but also the force generated to help him propel farther forward. Now, let's move on to some specific mechanics. Here, he actually lands closer to the midfoot to rear foot area. Landing closer to the rear foot area actually distributes forces more toward the knee, but less on the calf muscles. Now, this is not bad at all, however it does typically get a bad reputation as people think it is synonymous with overstriding, which is taking too far of a step forward. Taking a step too far forward may theoretically cause a braking mechanism to occur, therefore decreasing efficiency. However, in this case, this is not occurring. This is why it's important to look at the frames beforehand. If the foot hits the ground as the foot reaches out, this may cause a braking mechanism. However, here his leg is already swinging back, so the foot is already acting as a rocker to help him continue moving forward. Now, let's move on to the vertical bounce. Here he presents with minimal vertical bounce. This may be attributed to the higher step rate as this minimizes this and is a characteristic seen in elite distance runners. Now, let's move on to the arm swing. Here he presents with pretty much a large arm swing for distance running. However, again, this may be due to an alteration in running mechanics as this is occurring during the final kick of the race. Next, let's look at head position, and you can see how he pretty much maintains it in a neutral head position. And finally, I want you guys to appreciate the rhythm. With elite runners in general, they are typically so nice to watch as they maintain such beautiful rhythm and timing. This may be important to consider as running requires constant energy storage and release, and having good rhythm may optimize that. Anyway, this video ended up being a lot longer than I anticipated, but I hope you guys found it interesting. And that's all for this quick breakdown.